I am Balanarasimha, Assistant Professor of Chemistry, Government Degree College, Ramanapet. Today, I am going to discuss about organic chemistry, especially basics of organic chemistry. So, brief introduction to my class is here. What is organic chemistry? First point. Second, what is the valency of carbon? Next, nature of bonding. Here, nature of bonding means whether it is saturated bond or unsaturated bond. And next, nomenclature of organic compounds. So, organic chemistry is the study of carbon and carbon compounds. Main element in the organic chemistry is carbon. So, organic compounds are also called as hydrocarbons because hydrogen and carbon are the main elements in the main atoms in the organic compounds, organic molecules. So, organic compounds are also called as hydrocarbons, right? Next, so organic compounds are the primary constituents of all living organisms. So why we should know about organic chemistry? Because actually many of the all of the living organisms are made up of these hydrocarbons, okay, organic compounds. That's why we should know about organic chemistry. So, first of all, we should know about what is the valency of carbon. Carbon is having 4 valency electrons or valence electrons, so it can form 4 number of bonds, 4 number of covalent bonds. Especially organic compounds are consisting of covalent bonds. Okay, so carbon is able to form 4 covalent bonds, right, with other carbon or other elements. So that's why valency of carbon is 4. So valency means the maximum number of bonds the atom can form is called as valency. Okay, carbon valency is 4. So it can form 4 number of bonds with other carbon atoms or with other atoms. Next, characteristics of organic compounds. So what are the characteristics of organic compounds? Organic compounds are nonpolar compounds. They do not dissolve in polar solvents like water. Water is a polar solvent because water is dissociated, can be dissociated into H plus OH minus. So that's why water is polar solvent. But whereas in case of organic compounds are non-polar in nature, so they cannot be dissolved in water because water is a polar solvent. Here there is a glass. In that glass 2 layers are there. So uppermost layer is organic layer and down layer is inorganic layer, that is water. Okay, if these polar compounds were dissolved in water, there should be a homogeneous mixture. But here there are 2 layers, visible layers are there. So from this we can say that organic compounds which are non-polar cannot be dissolved in water, which is polar solvent. So for example, if we take a daily example, if we observe some petrol pouring into water or kerosene into water, it forms 2 layers. It cannot form a homogeneous mixture. So why petrol or kerosene is a organic compound and water is a inorganic or polar compound. Petrol is a non-polar compound and water is a polar compound, polar solvent. That's why they cannot be organic compounds cannot be dissolved in polar solvents like water. So from this we can make a conclusion that rule of thumb, as a rule of thumb, you should be keep in your mind that likes dissolve likes. Okay, polar compound dissolve in polar solvents, non-polar compounds dissolve in non-polar solvents. So non-polar compounds like every polar compound can be dissolved in polar solvents. Non-polar compounds like carbon tetrachloride will dissolves in benzene, or benzene dissolves in another non-polar compound. So sodium chloride, which is a polar compound, sodium chloride Na plus Cl minus, it dissolves in water because water is a polar solvent. But Na chloride, NaCl cannot be dissolved in benzene. Benzene or carbon tetrachloride, which are non-polar solvents. Right. So next, and another characteristic of organic compounds is they have low melting points due to weak intermolecular forces. So if you observe here, there is a weak attraction force between organic molecules. Okay, so one organic molecule is attracted by another organic molecule with a weak force, so they cannot attract forcibly. That's why they have low melting points due to weak intermolecular forces. They react slower than ionic compounds due to strong covalent bonds between atoms. Actually, organic compounds are having the bond between two atoms is covalent bond. So covalent bond is less reactive than ionic bond. So ionic compounds can be dissociated easily, whereas organic compounds cannot be dissociated easily. So that's why here I am taking ethane as one example, which is an organic compound, and sodium chloride, which is a ionic compound. So ionic compounds can be dissociated easily, and organic compounds cannot be dissociated easily. So because the covalent nature of the bond is like that. So organic compounds which are made of covalent bonds are slower in reactions than ionic compounds. Next, just I would like to write what is the valency of carbon and how molecules are represented. Here central atom is carbon, and I am taking methane as example. I will discuss about what is methane, what is ethane, why it is called as methane, why it is called as ethane. So here methane, I am taking CH4 methane as an example, methane. So here 4 hydrogens, carbon is the central atom, carbon is the central atom, 4 hydrogens are in bonding with the central atom. So in methane there are only carbon and hydrogen. That's why many of the organic compounds are called as hydrocarbons, hydrocarbons, hydrogen and carbons, right? In the same way, we can draw the structures of methane and chloroform and ethane. Here I am writing methane. So methane, already we wrote this. And next, chloroform. Chloroform CHCl3, again central atom is the chlorine, and 3 Cls and 1 hydrogen. And again in ethane there is a bond between one carbon atom and another carbon atom, and the remaining 3 hydrogens are in bonding with each carbon atom. So right, methane central atom is carbon, and chloroform central atom is carbon, and there are 3 chlorine atoms are there. And again ethane, there is a bond between carbon and the remaining hydrogens. So in this way we can represent, we can draw structures of organic compounds. Again, we should keep in our mind that here the maximum number of bonds the carbon atom can form is only 4, which is called as valency of the carbon. Next, types of bonds. Here my intention is type in the means whether it is single bond or double bond, right? Here single bond, if two electrons or one pair of electron is being shared between two atoms is called as single bond. So if one pair of electron is shared between two atoms, it forms one bond. Okay. So I said already that organic compounds are having covalent bonds. Covalent bonds are formed by sharing of electron between two atoms, bonding atoms. Okay. Here single bond, right? Single bond. How these electrons are shared, we can discuss. I am showing here. One electron from one carbon atom is denoted by black dots and black color, and another carbon is shown in yellow color. Here two electrons from each atom is shared by two atoms. So it forms single bond. So molecules which are having single bonds are called as saturated compounds, saturated molecules. Compounds which are having single bond between carbon atoms or between any atom are called as saturated compounds, right? We will discuss about it later. Then double bond. So carbon atoms may share two pair of electrons to form a double bond. Here there is a double bond between two carbon atoms. Again I am showing two types of carbon atoms with two different colors. One carbon atom is shown in black color and another carbon atom is shown in yellow color. So here two pairs of electrons are being shared to form two double bonds. Such type of compounds are called as compounds which are having double bonds in their molecules are called as unsaturated compounds. Unsaturated molecules. Molecules which are having double bonds between carbon atoms are called as unsaturated compounds, right? Next, triple bond. So carbon atoms may share three pair of electrons to form a triple bond, right? Again I am showing two different carbon atoms with two different colors, and one carbon atom is in black color and another carbon atom is in yellow color, and three pair of electrons means 6 electrons, 3 electrons from one carbon atom and 3 electrons from another carbon atom, and these three pairs are being shared by two carbon atoms, leading to formation of triple bond. So triple bond, the compounds which are having triple bonds are also called as unsaturated compounds. Next, what we have discussed already, we are going to discuss about it in a little detailed manner. So saturated compounds. Saturated compounds are organic compounds in which carbon atoms are bonded by single bonds. So already I have discussed about it. So if there is a single bond between atoms, if there are single bonds between atoms, there is no double bond or triple bond between any atom in the molecule. That molecule is called as saturated compound. That compound molecule and that compound is called as saturated molecule. So methane is a saturated molecule because there is no double bond between any atom. So that's why methane is saturated compound, right? Methane, why it is called as methane, we will discuss about it later. And again unsaturated compounds, already we have discussed about it. Compounds where carbon atoms have double or triple bonds are called as unsaturated compounds. Ethene, for example, if we take ethene as an example, there is a double bond between two carbon atoms, so it is called as unsaturated compound. We can represent these double bonds like here. So there is a double bond between two carbon atoms. That's why it is called as unsaturated compound. If you take another example, acetylene or ethane, ethane C2H2, it is also unsaturated compound because it has three bonds between two carbon atoms. So acetylene or ethane is also a unsaturated compounds. So compounds are having a double bond or triple bond between two carbon atoms are called as unsaturated compounds. Already we discussed about it. Hydrocarbons are organic compounds that consist of only carbon and hydrogen atoms. So we discussed acetylene, about acetylene, ethane or ethane, ethene, methane. All these are having carbon and hydrogen as elements or atoms. So organic compounds are called as hydrocarbons. Hydrogen and carbons. So we can observe this here. So hydrocarbons here elements or atoms are carbon and hydrogen. That's why organic compounds are called as hydrocarbons and hydrogen and carbons containing compounds. Next, I told you already. I have told you already that we will why it is called as methane, why it is called as ethane. So to know this, we should know the relation between number of carbon atoms and its name. Okay, right here. If there is one carbon atom in a molecule, it should be the name of the molecule should be started with meth. Okay, if there are two carbon atoms in a molecule, the name of the molecule should be started with eth. So these are called as prefixes, prefix. So which is fix before the name. Okay, the name should be started with that name. Okay, if there are three carbon atoms, it should be started with prop. For four carbon atoms, bute. 5 carbon atoms, pent. 6 hex, 7 hept, 8 oct, 9 non, 10 dec. Okay, so there is a relation between number of carbon atoms and its name, right? Everyone should remember it. They should keep this basic thing in their mind. So with this, anyone can name any compound, any organic compound. So it is very, very important. Again, I am saying that if there is one carbon atom in a molecule, it should be started with the name of the compound should be started with meth. If there are two carbon atoms, eth. 3 carbon atoms, prop. 4 carbon atoms, bute. For 5 carbon atoms, pent. For 6 carbon atoms, hex. For 7 carbon atoms, hept. Right? In the same manner, we can name any compound, any organic compound. Next, alkanes. So, what are alkanes? If there is a single bond between two carbon atoms, these compounds are called as alkanes. We have discussed about methane. Of course, if there is no double bond in an organic molecule, they are called as alkanes. Okay, alkane consists of mainly hydrogen and carbon as atoms, right? So methane is a alkane, right? Here a brief introduction of alkanes is here. Simplest members of hydrocarbon family. Alkanes are the simplest members of the hydrocarbon family. They contain only hydrogen and carbon. Already we discussed about it, and they only have single bonds. Okay, that's why they are called as saturated compounds. We discussed about it, their saturation. If a compound is having a single bond between two atoms are called as two carbon atoms are called as saturated. So alkanes are saturated hydrocarbons. And here is a formula for alkanes. CnH2n plus 2. Here n is number of carbons in a molecule. Number of carbons in a molecule. CnH2n plus 2 is general formula for alkanes. From this formula we can derive any formula of any molecule by knowing its name. Suppose if there is ethane, if we want to know what is the formula of ethane, we know that eth means there should be 2 carbon atoms in a molecule. So eth, so N is equal to 2, right? So ethane, alkane general formula is CnH2n plus 2. So in place of N we have to substitute 2. So C 2 H 2 into 2 plus 2 means C2 H2 into 2 4 plus 2 6 C2H6. By this formula we can derive the formula of ethane by knowing its name. So CnH2n plus 2 is general formula of alkanes. So once again, alkanes are simplest members of hydrocarbon family. They contain only hydrogen and carbon as we discussed in methane, which is a basic molecule of alkanes, a starting molecule of alkanes, and only have single bonds. These are called as saturated hydrocarbons because they have only single bonds in them, and all members have the general formula CnH2n plus 2. So we know that alkanes general formula of alkanes is CnH2n plus 2, and suppose there are 2 examples given here. How can you write the formula of some compounds? So here is giving 5 carbons. If there are 5 carbons in a molecule, if it is an alkane, what should be its formula? So by substituting in that formula, in this alkanes formula, so here 5 carbons means C5 H 2 into 5 plus 2. So C5 2 into 5 10 plus 2 12 C5H12. So a pent 5 carbons means pentane. It is called as pentane. In the same manner, we can derive formula for the molecule which is having 20 number of carbons. So if a molecule is having 20 number of carbons, so its formula is C20H42. It is also alkane. Here once again, here there is a simple rule of thumb. Single means saturated, single means saturated, single means saturated, right? Alkanes, we know that if there is one carbon in a molecule, it is called as meth. It should be started with methane, alkane, that's why it is methane. And if there are 2 carbon atoms, ethane, 3 carbon atoms, propane, 4 carbon atoms, butane, 5 carbon atoms, pentane. In this manner we can write any name, we can write name of any molecule, any alkane. So we should keep this thing in our mind, that there is a relationship between number of carbon atoms to its prefixes or its name. Okay. Again, once again I am saying, if there is one carbon atom in alkane, it is called as methane. If there are 2 carbon atoms, it is called as ethane. If there are 3 carbon atoms, it is called as propane. If there are 4 carbon atoms, it is called as butane. If there are 5 carbon atoms, it is called as pentane. So here the another characteristic of alkanes is, physical property of alkanes is, the smaller the compound, the lower boiling point and melting point is. By increasing the size of the molecule, the melting point and boiling points are increased. So and densities also. Here from this table we can come to that conclusion. So here methane is having a boiling point, lower boiling points, melting points and densities. And here if you take hexane or heptane, here it is having more higher boiling points and melting points and than density than methane. So larger the molecule, larger its higher its melting point and boiling point and densities. So there is a IUPAC nomenclature is there. IUPAC means International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry, IUPAC or IUPAC. So why everyone should know about IUPAC nomenclature? If there is no one set of rules for the whole world of chemistry, one person call one compound with one name and another person from another country will call it by other name. So by doing these things we cannot understand chemistry in a simple and easy manner, and it will be a hindrance to our research and knowing chemistry. So there are certain set of rules across the world of chemistry. So these rules are framed by IUPAC, International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry. It is not only for organic chemistry, even for inorganic and physical chemistry, IUPAC frames rules. So alkanes end in -ane and alkenes end with -ene, alkynes end with -ines. So alkanes are having single bond between two carbon atoms, alkenes double bond, alkynes triple bond. Okay. Valency of carbon, right? Next, alkenes. CN, general formula of alkenes is CnH2n. So we know already that what are alkenes? The compounds in which there is a double bond between two carbon atoms are called as alkenes. So IUPAC nomenclature ene, okay, right? General formula of alkenes is CnH2n, CnH2n. So here there is CnH2n. If we take a basic example of alkenes, C2H4. Suppose how ethene, eth means there should be two carbon atoms, eth means there should be two carbon atoms, eth, two carbon atoms. So n is equal to 2. Then what should be the formula of ethene? By substituting this equation CnH2n, this formula CnH2n, in place of n we are substituting 2 CnH2n. So C2H4, right? So C2H4 is the formula of ethene. Eth means there should be two number of carbon atoms. Again, what we have discussed about alkanes, same manner we can name the alkenes also, right? Here we should know, already we discussed about it, what is the, why it is very important, I have discussed about it. There is a relationship between number of carbon atoms in a organic molecule and its name. So if there is one carbon atom, it is meth. So here I am discussing about enes, alkenes. So eth means two carbon atoms, ene, alkene. So if there are three carbon atoms, prop, according to this table, propene. According to this table, if there are four carbon atoms, butene. If there are 5 carbon atoms, pentene. To find the number of hydrogens, double the number of carbons. Yes, of course, suppose if you observe in alkenes, all of the alkenes having, if there are 2 carbon atoms, 2 times of hydrogens are there in that molecule. So by doubling simply number of carbon atoms, it gives its number of hydrogens. No need of substituting in that formula. We can simply, in the case of alkenes, we can simply say the formula of alkenes by hearing its name. Suppose pentene, pent means 5 carbons. So what is the number of hydrogens then? 5 into 2, 10. So C5H10 is the formula of pentene. So in that manner, to find the number of hydrogens, double the number of carbons. Again, next, alkynes. In alkynes, there is a triple bond between two carbon atoms. Okay, those compounds which are having triple bond between those molecules which are having triple bond between two carbon atoms are called as alkynes, and its general formula is CnH2n minus 2. CnH2n minus 2. So if there are 3 bonds between 2 molecules, these are called as alkynes, and the general formula of alkynes is CnH2n minus 2. By knowing its name, we can derive formula of alkynes. Suppose ethine, eth means there should be 2 number of carbons, so n is equal to 2. So by substituting n by 2, 2 into 2 minus 2, so C2H4 minus 2 means H2. So ethane formula is C2H2. So here again, ethine C2H2, propane C3H4. Prop means 3 carbon atoms, bute means there are 4 carbon atoms, so bute, it should be started with bute. It is alkyne, that's why butane. Pent, pentane. 1 meth, 2 eth, 3 prop, 4 bute, 5 pent. So in the same way, we can write names of any organic compound. And there is a simple concept, another concept, alkyl groups. Okay, what are alkyl groups? We should know about this. Alkyl, we here and there see alkyl groups in reaction mechanisms of organic chemistry. So what are alkyl groups? Alkyl groups have one hydrogen less than alkenes. If we take example methane, by removing one hydrogen, it gives CH3. Okay, methane formula is CH4. By removing one hydrogen, it gives CH3. Okay, CH3 is called as methyl. So by taking one hydrogen, by removing one hydrogen from alkanes, it gives alkyl. So in general, alkyls are represented with R. Okay, alkanes are represented with RH. If we remove this hydrogen, these are called as alkyls. R is represented, is denoted, alkyls are denoted with R. So again, next, ethyl. So one hydrogen is taken from ethane. Okay, ethane formula is C2H6. So then ethyl formula is one hydrogen less, so C2H5. So in the same way, we can write any alkyl, ethyl, methyl, propyl. Here propyl. Okay, propyl. Propyl means one hydrogen less than propane. So propane is having formula C3H8, then propyl should be C3H7. With these things, I would like to conclude my session. So we have discussed about what is organic chemistry and what are hydrocarbons and what is the nature of bonding and characteristics. What are the characteristics of organic compounds and what are alkenes and alkynes, what are unsaturated compounds and unsaturated compounds. Thank you.